Ian, it's another derby victory, the toughest of places to come. Your boys didn't let you down, did they?
No, they were excellent to a man, the whole squad, even the guys that never got on the pitch, because they're given so much support on the sidelines, an integral part of what we're trying to do. And I keep preaching to players, and we've seen it again today, a little bit of rotation again, just because we felt legs were going to be really, really important, especially in a derby game. Never easy, especially the Fife derby. It's pretty tough going, and the third time we've came here this season, third time we've left with a victory, but it wasn't an easy game.
We spoke Saturday past about character, about mental resilience, about needing to offer more than what we know they're capable of with their own kind of skill set. Did your team answer any questions that we might have left Starks Parkway thinking about on Saturday in terms of their resilience?
Well, I think they've answered the questions again. I think we've done it already this season as well. I never really had any doubts about that side of it. It was more just trying to keep or maintain the standards and demands that these guys have placed upon themselves as individuals and as a collective unit. We were disappointed on Saturday. That's all we were. We weren't having a big debate about it or any sort of crisis about it at all. The guys are, I think they're now 17 undefeated, 2-28. It's an incredible record that they've managed to produce. But we kind of try and not think about that too much. We just try and keep our eyes on moving forward next game, because this is a really hard league. We go into now another set of games which is really, really tough, but also exciting games for us. But today was a really good win, a really, really good hard working performance, and I felt in the first half in particular we played some really good stuff.
In some ways it's the perfect setting, isn't it? I guess we can put these questions in the context of having secured the victory, but coming here, best part of 8,500 fans, baying for both their teams at each side, it must give that extra kind of 10-15% in the tank that we were needing to see. Yeah,
it's a big derby. I think until you're in the mix of it and you're in the midst of it, then you don't really realise how important it is to people. Both sets of supporters and both football clubs. We bring a tremendous support today, 2,000 plus probably, and we want to try and repay them. They've given us tremendous backing throughout the season. Even the last two home games where we've not picked up wins, they've been standing at the end of the game clapping us off, because I think they realise that it's not going to be every week that we can go and play fancy football and win games. I was going to say 2 or 3 earlier, but it's just the odd goal we're doing.
It's a new year, right enough.
Yeah, it's a new year. It's a great way to start the new year. Dunfermline are obviously disappointed. They've put a lot of effort into the game as well. It takes two teams to produce a really good derby, and I thought that was the best derby so far, actually. For both sides, I felt it was a real end-to-end battle. Both sets of players giving absolutely everything, but we're delighted to be on the right end of the result.
Talk to us about the kind of key passages of play. Where do you feel the game was won today? Because in commentary we spoke about the fact that we've seen every aspect of your team today.
Yeah, I felt first 5 minutes Dunfermline started the better of the two teams. I felt they put us under a wee pressure, a really good chance as well to take the lead, and it went straight to Kevin, which we were relieved at because we didn't start particularly well. Then we settled down, and sometimes I don't mind that. We showed a bit of quality and we managed that situation really, really well, and we kind of dominated up until the 40th minute, and then Dunfermline came back into it. Second half I felt was pretty even, actually. I felt we had a couple of chances to exploit them, they had a couple of chances to exploit us, but I felt our two centre halves today stood up to the questions that were asked of Dunfermline. I felt our full-backs were good. I thought Kevin, who we all know he's been struggling with his hip over the last few weeks, he's really manned up today for us and played. We fitness tested him this morning. He's far from 100% fit, we'll have to make that clear, but he's battled through for it. And again, it's about making these young players into men and ready for senior football, and it's another learning curve for us all.
Talk to us a wee bit more about the decision to play Kevin, because was it something that you knew he was struggling with? You've had a chance to kind of go through the drills in terms of how his distribution is going to work. He's clearly not be able to kick a ball for the ground unless it's an absolute necessity. Is that something you were able to prepare pre-today, or actually did a lot of that take place in the dressing room?
Yeah, pretty much in the dressing room. It's been a quick turnaround as well for us. We've not had a lot of time together since Saturday, recovering players and topping up others and nursing a few knocks as well. Kevin, we knew he was going to struggle with his kicking, so we just asked our players that are playing with him to not put him under any pressure. And there's going to be times the ball has to go back to the goalie, and the minute that happened we had to try and help him as well. But he showed I think a lot of maturity today in terms of his performance, in terms of taking calculated risks. But it's one of those knocks as well that we'll just manage now. I'm hoping pretty much by next Saturday that he's probably going to be 100%.
I'm going to ask you to comment on a couple of players in specifics. We tend to go more kind of general in terms of the whole squad, but Ross Matthews is back today, straight in the mix, sleeves rolled up, and for us as supporters, Byrne, Matthews and Brown, it's an embarrassment of riches, isn't it?
It is. When you look at our bench again, I mean, there's guys in there disappointed not to be playing, and I understand that. You know, Aidan Conley has been outstanding for us for a number of years now. Jamie Gullen, who's come back really fit. Callum Smith, who runs himself into the ground every single week in every single training session. But they understand what we're trying to do. Keep saying it. It's not about not being a good player or not being good enough. It's about today and what we think can try and win us a game. And I made it clear before the game, and I wasn't, just trying to mask anything. For me today, and in games like this, the bench is of equal importance as a starting 11. It's not about one player here or two players. It's about the whole group of us, 20, 25, including the staff. We keep moving forward. We keep trying to help each other, and we keep trying to win. You
always tell me that positive results belong to the people behind the goals, first and foremost. But Dan O'Reilly he gets out the Sharpie pen and he kind of writes his name all over it. Tell us about his contribution, and then we're obviously going to kind of say, is there any work to be done there? Has that been decided in terms of what his future holds?
Yeah, I thought Dan was excellent. The first goal was good reactions. Goalie's a wee bit unfortunate. He's made a good point blank save. Second goal's really good aggression. I think that's one thing Dan's brought or helped us with, his aggression on set plays for and against. Out with his goals, I mean, I'm delighted for Dan as well, because it's brilliant when you bring somebody in, after the window's closed or terms of signing players, and he's putting performances like he has. And again, like the rest of the lads, he's missed a couple of games because we wanted to try something different. He's came back in with the right attitude, the right desire. We all know that Dan is in a short-term contract here. We've put him in the shop window as much as he's helped us, so it works two ways. We'll probably sit down with Dan over the next few days and see where we all are, but I think at the very, very least we've given the guy a platform to go and play football, and he's given us absolutely everything in return, so no qualms in that.
Is he available for Saturday, or would
I think so. I'll have to check. I'll check that tonight, but yeah, I think it's one more game, and then we have to sit down and try and get something sorted or not. And Dan's done so well that I wouldn't be surprised if there's other teams looking at him.
We'll not push you any further than that, but what I'm going to ask you to do is, I'm kind of looking over your shoulder, and it's eerily quiet just now, but that away end was absolutely bouncing. It's very rare in commentary. I'm in a very kind of privileged position, but today was one of those days where I was just jealous of the people behind the goals. Talk to me about the support. It's an easy question for me to ask, but the answers are always I've got a lot of depth and thought behind them. Talk to me about them.
Yeah, again, amazing. I keep saying it's a tough time of year to come to football games, and we've had a lot of games in the last sort of 10, 14 days, and we keep asking these guys to come along, and we keep trying to repay them, but their backing is so important for us. I think they're giving us real belief during games, even when we concede goals, they're getting right behind us, both home and away. That was probably our biggest support we've brought since I've came to East End Park with Raith Rovers, and we're just trying to grow the club, and the supporters are everything in football, and I hark back to it, and it's not to patronise people, but COVID taught everybody that we need supporters, and then we can't ask any more of our supporters at the moment. They're turning out in great numbers, they're backing the players, they're backing myself, and we just keep going with them.
How's your knowledge of the songbook going? Are you starting to learn them bit by bit? How's your knowledge of Geordie Monroe? Because I'm going to be testing you on that before the end of the season.
I'm actually alright. There's my eldest there, we sometimes listen to that in the car on the way to games to get ourselves going. Again, the longer you're at a football club and the more successful you are, the more you ingrain yourself with the history, and you look back on certain times on football clubs where they're successful, you try to emulate them, but yeah, look, it's a really good place to be right now. I think everybody can see that and everybody can feel that, so we all stick together.
Well, no matter what happens moving forward, there are memories that your team are creating, so take back our thanks to the dressing room.
I will do. I was supposed to say I hope Sam Fisher has a quick recovery, because that was a really bad injury that he got this afternoon, and that's it's never nice to see, so I hope he's okay.
It's good to see players rallying round, and at both sides you're kind of looking to see how they could look after him. Any early news on that? Or is
no, but it wasn't a nice one. It wasn't looking good, so we just hope he's going to be okay and recovers really quick.
We'll add your regards to that, and we'll catch up with you before the air again.